Alright, hello everyone, DSP here. We're about to begin the Microsoft press conference recap and reactions video and stream for E3 2015. So here we go. Alright. Hello everyone. Welcome to the big Microsoft, look at this, Microsoft E3 2015 recap. Although, I'm going to say something right now, I see this. This was done in anticipation, and guess what? And you'll see what I mean once we go through this. This will make an appearance in a different press conference that I think surprised the shit out of a lot of people, okay? Alright, so let's go through it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Microsoft press conference was the first one of today, and it started out early in the morning. And what did they open it up with? You think, what could Microsoft open up their press conference with? Of course, they're going to open up with Halo 5. And they open this up by showing, of all things, right, it's the guy who, I don't even know his name because I didn't watch it. They had this Halo kind of video series slash mini series that really, it didn't really get that much attention except amongst major Halo fans. And apparently the guy who was like the lead in that series is the lead of the game, which is kind of weird. But anyway, it's him and a group of other people teaming up. And apparently they go down for the campaign. It's a 4-player cooperative campaign of Halo 5. And apparently they're hunting the Master Chief in the campaign of the game. And there's all these illusions. I didn't hear too much during the conference. I didn't really explain it. That supposedly Master Chief is now the enemy. Which really doesn't make sense. If you played Halo 4, at the end of that, Master Chief defeated the evil guy who apparently was like one of the Forerunners or whatever. I don't know. It's been so long since Halo 4. Who even knows? The whole fucking plot line. Who knows what the hell it's about, right? So, they're going after Master Chief. Apparently, he's evil now. And they're showing gameplay. And I'll be honest, it's Halo gameplay. I'm not seeing anything too impressive or anything that's like, wow, brand new Halo. You know what I mean? It's more like, okay, it's Halo. It's kind of the same as it's always been. I do hate that they keep pretending that there's people playing this game. Because you can tell the people who are on stage playing are not actually playing the game. But they fake like they are anyway. And then they start talking about multiplayer after this single-player demo. And they say the new mode in this game is called Warzone Multiplayer. Now, this is supposed to be a massive multiplayer mode with a map that's supposedly 4 times as big as any map that's ever been in Halo multiplayer before. And you're going to have 2 teams of humans, alright, that are actually fighting, but in the middle there's going to be all kinds of enemies and stuff spawning too, so it's kind of like you versus the enemies, but also versus other humans that's on an opposing team. It wasn't like super clear, but at the same time it seems innovative. It's certainly not a horde mode or a traditional mode that you would expect in Halo multiplayer, okay? And that was the presentation for Halo 5. Then they announced there's going to be a new game from Kenji Inafune and the makers of Metroid Prime. So the maker of Resident Evil. Or is it Inafune? No, I'm Resident. Now I'm screwing everything up. Forgive me. It's been a long day. From Inafune and Metroid Prime. A game called Recore. And it's no gameplay. It's just a girl. Looks like she's in some kind of a desert wasteland like a la Mad Max. And she's with a robot dog. As they go into this cave to explore, they're getting attacked by all these other robots. And the dog sacrifices its life to save the girl. It blows up, self-destructs, kills all the other robots. So the girl runs up, and all that's left of the dog is a blue glowing ball. And she picks up this blue glowing ball and walks up to another dead robot, puts it inside. The robot becomes alive, and apparently now it's like it's a soul or an essence or an AI. I don't know. It wasn't clear, but like she transferred it from the dead robot dog to this robot, and the robot comes back alive. And now they're gonna go inside of the cave, and they're gonna basically loot this cave. And the name of the game is called Recore, and it's coming out in spring 2016. Looks interesting. The concept of taking the spirit or AI of something and putting it into other things. Seems like it'll be an action style / puzzle game. But I'm interested to see what it looks like. Okay, what it ends up being. By far one of the biggest announcements of today that got everyone buzzing in the social media and everything was that it was announced that the Xbox One is going to have backwards compatibility With Xbox 360 games, only it's going to add all of the functionality of the Xbox One. So, for example, you could play Mass Effect, and as you're playing it, you could take screenshots, you could take videos, all that functionality that was added to at the Xbox One as an improvement over Xbox 360 is possible when you're playing these legacy 360 games on Xbox, okay, or Xbox One, okay? So, ladies and gents, it's interesting to see that. And a lot of people immediately ask me, Phil, what do you think of this feature? Well, I think it's good because let's be honest here. I have an Xbox 360. It's my eighth Xbox 360. No, that's not a lie. For those of you who maybe have only started watching me over the past couple of years, I'm on my 8th Xbox 360. That's how many consoles died on me during that console generation. That console was a piece of shit when it came to the hardware, all right? So to not have to worry about the reliability of my fucking Xbox 360 if I want to play a legacy game is a good thing. And the fact that I don't have to keep an extra console, you know, sitting around is a good thing. And let's face it, for those who maybe are getting into the consoles now, right? Maybe you weren't in the previous console generation. You didn't have the Xbox 360. My hair is screwed up, isn't it? It is, but I don't even give a shit. It's just being stupid. If you didn't have the Xbox 360 and you've got an Xbox One, you're like, man, I would really like to enjoy some of those classic Microsoft games. Now you could do it without having to go back and buy a legacy Xbox 360. Now, of course, there's always a catch. The catch is that it's not available yet. It is coming soon. In fact, it's available for, what are they called? The Microsoft First Starters or whatever. It's the group of people that adopt all the new stuff on Xbox One first. It's only like 24 games. And in fact, Leanna, as we were sitting here watching the conference together, she looked up the list. It's like 20 games, most of which are launch games for Xbox 360 that no one's going to play. Gee, backwards compatibility. The first game that I'm going to rush to is Cameo. Because remember that game? Yeah, it was a launch title for Xbox 360 that everyone rushed through and never fucking played again. But that's what I mean. It's going to be something that's probably going to be a short launch. You know what I mean? Like they'll gradually increase the list more and more and add more games to it. At first, it's going to be very soft. They're saying by like mid to late 2016, there should be hundreds of games. It's a good thing. Look, it's something for nothing. It's a good thing. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. I will enjoy not having to keep my Xbox 360 around as long as I have my Xbox One, okay? Okay. Next thing was a new controller for the Xbox 360, okay? Now, I'm going to be honest with everyone, because you know I'm startlingly, shockingly honest in everything that I do on the internet. I've seen this controller, and the first thing I think when I see the new controller they're showing is, doesn't it look a lot like the Xbox 360 controller? Like, I'll give you an example here. Doesn't it kind of look like this? You remember the Xbox One controller, which I don't have, it's actually in Leanna's room right now, is a big chunky beast. This, it kind of looks like this. The only difference is on the back, it actually has extra grips on the bottom. And what they were saying is this is touch-sensitive stuff that could be used for driving games and stuff like that. And it also says that there's more sensitivity, there's adjustment, like sliders and shit on your controller, right? And then they're like, oh, the parts are interchangeable. To which I say, why would I want to interchange parts ever on a controller unless something's breaking? So if my controller, the left trigger's breaking, right? Why would I want to interchange it? So what you're basically telling me is, we're going to buy a controller that's going to break, and we'll have to buy replacement parts for it, right? So, it's okay here. Leanna brought me the Xbox One controller versus the Xbox 360 controller. See how it increased? This one's more bulky, more chunky, versus this one is more streamlined, and it looks more like this one than this one. So, my question is, why do you need those interchangeable parts unless Microsoft is admitting that their controllers wear out, and you're going to need to buy replacement parts? In addition, a lot of people didn't know this, because guess what? They didn't announce the price during the conference, so we looked it up. Guess how much the new Microsoft controller cost? They call it the Elite controller. $150. Yeah, so you have to be fucking elite to afford that thing. It's half the cost of the goddamn console for a fucking controller. Are you out of your mind? Dude, I mean, I play tons of games. I'm not going to get this fucking controller. I don't need a $150 fucking Xbox controller. It's not even, I bought giant joysticks for Street Fighter that were cheaper than $150 fucking dollars. They're out of their minds and they're thinking this is it's an elitist product. It really is. For those who are Xbox elitists and want to throw a ton of money at Microsoft, go blow your money on this fucking piece of shit controller. It's a waste of time and I would not get it. It seems insanely overpriced. Ridiculous. Okay. Okay, so next, they showed some Fallout 4, and I'll be honest, it's the same Fallout 4 we've already seen. It's not like, wow, this is a new Fallout 4 or anything. It's pretty much the same stuff that we've already seen. But then they say, oh, the big announcement for the Microsoft press conference, okay, is that the Fallout 4 mods, that typically, if you remember Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas, there were tons of mods on the PC version of the game, but never on the console versions. They're saying on this version of the game, mods will be available and usable on the Xbox One version and on the PC version. Now, I see this as both a positive and a negative, and here's why. If you're going to put mods on a console version of a game, I don't know how that's going to work. On a PC, you've got this changeable file. You can add mods. You can even get third-party programs to load mods and sorters and shit for you. I almost guarantee you it's going to be whatever's the official Microsoft thing for Fallout 4, for the official mod loader or whatever. But who's to say someone won't load a fucking piece of shit mod that destroys the game, or all these mods will have issues? I don't know. The modding community went bonkers. They're like, yes, we love mods. I don't know. I've never experienced great mods because I never played the Fallout series on PC. So for me, it's like a non-thing, but I'm sure for some people this is huge, okay? So some people might love it. For me, not a big deal, but okay. If you want the definitive version that has mods, get it on Xbox One. Then they talked about EA Access, which I don't understand. Why don't you even talk about this on the EA press conference, not Microsoft? EA Access. It's going to basically be a subscription program where you can get EA games for free on a subscription basis, similar to, say, PlayStation Plus or Microsoft Gold, where when you join their networks, you will get their subscription-based games free, right? Like, you can get certain games for free as long as you're a member. Big deal. Like, what's the point? It's fucking worthless, in my opinion. And some people were like, this isn't even new. This has been around for years, but no one talks about it because no one cares. Well, EA wanted to talk about it. Big deal. Then they actually premiered Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 at the Microsoft press conference. They said it's released spring of 2016. If you want more information on that, check out my coverage of the EA press conference, because they gave tons of new info about it. In the Microsoft press conference, they just kind of glossed over it. So they said it's coming, and that was pretty much it. Check out the EA press conference coverage if you want more information on Garden Warfare 2, okay? Okay. Next, they showed Forza 6, and I fell asleep, and I fucking woke up afterwards, because I'll be honest, I don't care. Forza is one of those game series that will forever be popular. There will always be people who love it. I've seen it. I was not impressed by it. It existed since the launch of the PS4 and the Xbox. I had Forza, actually. I had Forza when the Xbox One launched. I had it. I think I played it once, and I could care less. I'm sorry, I'm just not a racing simulator kind of guy. So, Forza's coming out, woohoo. Dark Souls 3, they ran a trailer for it, saying Dark Souls 3 is coming out in 2016, no release date yet. They're saying early 2016, but that could mean anything for the first half of the year, and it could also get delayed. The only thing they showed is a insanely giant monster, like insanely huge. It almost looked like a giant Titan or King-style monster getting up with a giant weapon, and that was it. No explanation, just Dark Souls 3 is coming. Whoop-oo, woo-hoo-hoo. Okay, great. We already knew that. The Division, okay? The Division gets a big, promo here. They actually show some gameplay of it. They announced that the beta will be in December on the Xbox One. I guess it's going to have it in advance of the PlayStation 4. So, big deal. If you want more information on The Division, go check out the Ubisoft press conference coverage that I did, because they went more into detail there. They also announced that Rainbow Six Siege is coming on the Xbox One on October 13th, which we already knew, but they announced that it's coming with the old... This is I didn't understand. If you pre-order the game, it comes with, like, the last 2 Rainbow Six games or something. I'm like, that's great, but at the same time, they're old games. That would be like saying... The new Super Mario Brothers game is coming out, and by the way, if you buy it, we're going to give you games from 7 years ago. Maybe someone out there cares, but I'm going to want to buy the game and play the new game. You know, maybe I'll check out the old games in a future date, but that's not a selling point for me to buy it on Xbox One. You know what I mean? And I don't know, again, I don't know if that was an Xbox One exclusive. All I know is it was announced during the Microsoft press conference. I don't know if it's an Xbox One exclusive or not. Then they had another game, a new game, called Gigantic, and it looked interesting. It showed a variety of characters. I think it was like 7 different characters. Some have seen more, it was third person, by the way, third person action game. Some of it had melee combat, some of it was projectile combat, and it was very cartoony looking. But then they showed these giant monsters called, I guess this is your Guardian. And these Guardians were I guess they team up with you in certain parts of the game. So the giant boss comes out, and now you control the Guardian to fight the boss. It was very confusing. Again, the name of the game is Gigantic. And then they announced it's an Xbox One exclusive, and it's a free-to-play game. To which I say, great, for the first 5 minutes till they nickel and dime you for $5 billion to continue playing the game. So I'll be honest, I wasn't too excited about that one either once I found out it was a free-to-play game. Indies. Tons of indies that they kind of just did a really quick montage of. Too many for me to really mention because a lot of them they didn't even mention the name. So, indies. Okay? Tacoma. This was a weird game. I couldn't really put my finger on what it was, if it was futuristic or not. It seemed like Portal almost, like the first-person kind of mystery puzzler. And apparently you don't know where you are, and you're asking the questions, what happened here? Where's everyone on this station? Or something like that. But it really didn't, it didn't give enough info. This was the kind of the problem for me, or at least for a lot of the things in the Microsoft press conference. They gave you like a little trailer or a little snippet, but never went far enough to explain what you were watching. So, oh, great, Tacoma, it's coming to the Xbox One and PC first. Here's a snippet. Okay, it's over. Well, what was it? The fuck did I just see? You know, don't even at least tell me something about the game. And then another game, same thing. The next game, Ashen, shows 2 explorers. They're in like a dark cave that's very poorly lit, full of dust. All of a sudden, all these monsters start coming out. They kill one of them, another one comes out, it's over. Like, what was that game? I don't know what the fuck I just saw. You know, again, kind of a waste of time in my opinion. Beyond Eyes. Now, this is a game that I said during my stream chat, I said, I guarantee you this game could blow. It will win awards, and people will praise the shit out of it. Why? Because it's made by a woman who's working with the blind. This is supposed to be a game representative of a blind girl who uses her senses and sound to imagine what's around her. So you can see it's a very artistic game. It's a girl walking around. The whole game looks hand-drawn with, like, ink. And she's walking, and you can see, what is this? And it's like a real weird form. You can't tell what it is. You assume it's a tree, but then all of a sudden you hear a noise, and you realize it's a street light, and so a street light appears next to you. So it looks like it actually has potential to be a great game. But I guarantee you, this is the kind of game that the artsy types will say, Game of the Year, groundbreaking, most beautiful game I've ever fucking seen in my life. And not a lot of people are going to play it. I hate to say it. It seems interesting, but I don't know how good it's really going to be. We'll see as it, you know, in the translation, how it actually turns out. Now this game actually interested me. It's called Cuphead. It's a game that's drawn like old school cartoons. Like, you remember the really crazy looking old school Disney cartoons, Warner Brothers cartoons, everything's like super deformed and cartoony. That's kind of how this game is, and it has this filter on it that makes it look like fuzzy, like old style, like you're almost watching it on a tube TV. But it looks to me like the game is going to be a shmup, or a game similar to, say, Metal Slug. I don't know how many of you have ever played a Metal Slug game. These games were huge in the 1990s, made by Neo Geo Corporation. And they're side-scrolling shooters, where you have 2 guns and you're shooting stuff. And that's what the game looks like, only it's with cartoon characters. And it looks really sweet. Now, it's not licensed cartoon characters, obviously. And it does look adult-oriented, but it looked pretty good to me. And I'm actually interested in that game. I actually am. Okay. Then, this I groaned audibly across the house, and no one heard me. But anyway, I groaned audibly at the announcement of Xbox Game Preview. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Xbox Game Preview, because as you know, on Steam, all those games that you buy in pre-alpha to get super duper advanced access are definitely worth the money, not rip-offs, and have always worked out well. So Microsoft says, we're going to follow in the money gravy train because we're fucking money-grubbing assholes too. We're going to do Xbox Game Preview, where you can opt to pay for games early, get early access to them, even though they're not fucking finished. Now, they tried to swerve and save it a little bit. and they said, oh, don't worry. We will give you a trial of any game that you're considering purchasing early, and you will make sure you like the trial before you buy the game. To which I say, that's fucking stupid. Just don't sell games that aren't done. How about that, Microsoft? Don't sell games that are fucking incomplete. It's what we were saying about Steam and everything. We don't need early access to a game coming 3 years later that might not be fucking finished. What is this bullshit? Whatever happened to you develop the game? Oh, I'm sorry. You raise the funds, you develop the game, you advertise the game, you release the game, you sell the game. That's the order of progression of any product. Not you sell the game before the game's even created, you do a Kickstarter to raise money, you do early access beta to raise more money, you raise more money, you raise more money, you raise more money, you raise more money, oh, then you finally release the game. What the fuck is this? What world do I live in? Holy shit, man. So I'm sorry, I don't agree with the Xbox game preview. I think it's a dumb idea, just like buying games in pre-alpha on Steam. I think it's fucking stupid. And I'll be honest, I'm going to be very honest, I think you're a sucker if you fall for it and you do any of that. You are a sucker. Alright. Okay. Then they showed the new game from the mind of the guy who made DayZ. And the guy who made DayZ came out, and he's had a very bad, some kind of a weird lisp or something. I couldn't tell what. And he announced his new game. Alright. And he says it's called Ion, and they go in space, and they're showing satellites, and then all of a sudden they're zooming down to Earth, they're showing genomes of DNA, and then they show a human who looks like a fetus, but it's a full-grown human in a plastic bag wrapped over. It's called Ion, and then it ends. No information whatsoever about the fucking game. Nothing. Nothing. It's a fucking worthless trailer. Completely, utterly fucking... I could have pissed on screen for 27 seconds, and you probably would have learned as much about Ion as you watched in that fucking trailer. So, the maker of DayZ, congratulations, you fucked up your big E3 chance because that was a fucking piece of shit, okay? And then some people are actually saying, if you look online, that they actually stole the art from Walking Dead Season 2, and that's the production art for Ion. Like, it shows a guy with a gun, looks like freaking Rick Grimes, running down a dirt road. There's a farmhouse in the background. This is the cover art from Walking Dead Season 2, with some kind of an alien over here, and they're saying that they literally stole the art, and that's the advertisement for Ion. Okay, then. So, enough with that. Let's keep moving. Up next, they advertised Rise of the Tomb Raider, okay? And I'll be honest, Rise of the Tomb Raider, let's show some gameplay, and they do, but it's not really traditional gameplay of Tomb Raider, although some of it is. It's, you know, this is a very much of a throwback to the original Tomb Raiders, where the game was actually more about puzzle solving and platforming than it was combat. The original Tomb Raiders were very light on combat, in fact. They got more progressively heavy on combat as the series progressed and the capabilities of consoles progressed. Originally, it was just more about, you know, puzzle solving and platforming. And so they show this sequence where you're like in the Himalayas or something. It's hard to tell. You're in a snowy mountain, and there's avalanches, and cliffs are falling, and you're trying to glide and desperately save your life. And it's nice, but it's not, in my opinion, an accurate representation of the game, especially if you played the Tomb Raider reboot a couple years ago. You know, the game has a lot of combat, the game does have a lot of kind of platforming puzzle solving, and this just shows one specific sequence that doesn't really show you anything about the game, and it really is kind of a waste of time. So I was pretty disappointed with that. And then, as if to create the biggest, like, it's the biggest laughing stock of the day, and I hate to say that because I actually was interested in Rise of the Tomb Raider. We already know, we heard this previously. Rise of the Tomb Raider is going to be an Xbox One timed exclusive, meaning that Xbox One will get this game ahead of PS4. It will be coming out for PlayStation 4. We don't know when, but we do know that Microsoft will be getting it on the Xbox early. Alright? So you might say to yourself, that's okay. I wonder when it's going to come out, because that would be great. I'll play it, you know. It's coming out the same fucking day as Fallout 4, November 10th, 2015, and I'm like, so you gotta be fucking joking. Microsoft spent probably a shitload of money to make Rise of the Tomb Raider a timed exclusive for Xbox One, and now they're releasing it the same day as Fallout 4. 95% of the demographic that they were going to sell that game to on launch day is busy. And I'm not kidding. Like, I will take a poll right fucking now on the internet. How many people on November 10th will be playing Fallout 4 versus those who are skipping Fallout 4 to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. Take the fucking poll and tell me that that's not going to be the split. Because most people have been waiting so long for Fallout, that's what they want to play. Or they're going to buy into the hype of Fallout, they're going to want to play the Fallout. So, sorry, Microsoft, unless you change the date of Rise of the Tomb Raider, you literally took this giant bucket of money, whatever you gave to them for the exclusive, and you just fucking tossed a match in it. Because you're going to get nothing out of it. You will get almost no extra sales on that game when everyone's going to be playing Fallout 4 at that time. So, okay, so it's just really dumb. Okay. I continue. Now, the thing is, I want to play Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm just not going to be playing it at launch. I'll be playing Fallout 4 like everybody else. Just saying. Then they show... Oh, this was pretty cool. Rare Replay. Rare Studio. Rare is a game studio that's been around for longer than people realize. 30 freaking years, man. They've been around. And this is their 30th anniversary. They're releasing a collection of 30 games, 30 of what they consider the best games they've ever made, in a collection for $30 on the Xbox One. This is coming out on August 4th, 2015 in the United States. It's going to include such games as Banjo-Kazooie, Battletoads, Killer Instinct, right? We're talking big titles, some of the biggest titles they've ever made in their history. And of course, I would guarantee you, if you look at 30 games, it's probably going to be like, wow, 10 games that are notable and people really like, and probably like 20 games that are kind of like, games Rare made, but didn't get massive notoriety or any kind of massive following or anything like that. You know what I mean? So, I'm interested in this collection. I think it's a good idea, especially if you are a fan of Rare. You grew up with Rare. Rare are some of your favorite gaming moments, and you want to relive those on a modern console, and/or in this modern era, maybe you want to share that with others. Stream your gameplay experiences. Now is the time to do it, and this is a cool collection for $30, 30 games. Of course, at the same time, you have to realize that a lot of those games probably aren't going to be very good. But one thing that's cool for those who care, Gamerscore, right? Everyone loves Gamerscore on Xbox One and Xbox 360. The game will have 10,000 Gamerscore. Okay? Typical game, $60 retail game, has 1,000 Gamerscore. Because this is legitimately 30 games, 10,000 Gamerscore in this one game. This is going to be a Gamerscore, dream. If you're a Gamerscore hunter, you're going to buy this game and try to play it the hell out of it to get all the points. Okay. Up next, Rare announced a new game. And it's weird because it all seems to be from the first-person perspective, but it seems a little bit cartoony, albeit I would say it kind of looks like, what's a game? Oh, Fable. I was going to say the game kind of looked like Fable to me. And they show it's first-person, but then there's cooperative gameplay. You can see other people on the screen with names above their heads, so you're like, cooperative, it seems almost like it's maybe an MMO or something, and it's pirates, you're on the high seas, there's swashbuckling action, there's pirates ramming ships into ships, and then they show you opening up a chest, and it's called Sea of Thieves. It's the new game from Rare, and yes, it is an MMO, a pirate-style MMO, and that has no release date, but they're saying that you will probably see more about it next year. And then after all this stuff going on at the Microsoft press conference, they show another trailer, and they're like, it's fantasy. It's, it's wild, beyond your wildest dreams, fantasy, and you will do this. And I'm like, man, what is with all these fantasy games this year? It really seems like everyone wants to copy Fable. Guess what the promo was for? Fable. Fable Legends. Which they didn't really, again, no information, just a quick promo. This is what I really hated about the Microsoft conference. It's great you want to tease that games are coming out, but at least tell us something about it. Is Fable Legends similar to the previous Fable games? Is Fable Legends a new game? You know what I mean? Is it a new a rebooting of the IP? What is it? No explanation. We just showed you a shit trailer that really explained nothing. Enjoy. Bullshit. Waste of time. I'm interested. I like Fable, but I want to know what the fuck I'm playing. And right now, there's no information about it. In my opinion, the entire next session was a hilarious joke, because everyone knows, in my opinion, what I think about this whole VR thing. The Oculus Rift, the Project Morpheus, all this bullshit with VR. I think it's a fad. I think that there'll be a few games to implement it. It's too expensive to become mainstream adopted right now. We have a bad economy worldwide. No, you can't expect people to drop hundreds of dollars for headsets to run these fucking things. And I really don't think that they're ever going to catch on. But Xbox One, it's going to work with VR gaming, and they make this big announcement that, first of all, Microsoft has partnered with, of all things, they have partnered with the Oculus Rift, and every Oculus Rift that you buy, you're going to get the Xbox One controller with it. So all Oculus games will be controlled with the Xbox One controller. And I started scratching my beard like this, and I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a minute. I go back in my notes a page, and I'm like, at the beginning of the conference, Microsoft basically said that their Xbox One controller is a piece of shit, a bulky piece of shit, and therefore they're releasing a new one called the Xbox Elite controller for $150 that's smaller, and it's like this. So then, an hour later, as if we're not going to remember, they say, oh, forget about that. We're going to give you the original Xbox One controller with Oculus Rift. It's like, maybe you should have done it the other order, you assholes. But they did it in an order so that they're like, here's a better controller, but you don't get that. Here, if you buy Oculus, get this piece of shit that we admit is a piece of shit. It's, what a joke. And it's like they're almost unloading old hardware. We have 1 million of these that no one ever bought. We'll unload them with the Oculus. Oh my god, so stupid. So they show this new peripheral called the HoloLens. Yes, another fucking peripheral that Xbox is trying to shove down your throat. And they're playing, of all games, Minecraft. Now, we all know this. I hated Minecraft. I talked shit about Minecraft for years. This year in particular, I played Minecraft and I said, wow, Minecraft actually isn't a bad game. It's kind of a little innovative in a way that it is. Should it be the end-all and be-all of gaming that the world knows synonymous with gaming? No. Should it be the #1 video on YouTube every time you search gaming? No. But it's still a decent game. And it was interesting and a part of gaming culture history. Oh, let's do VR in Minecraft. So here we go. Oh, look, a VR world I could push with my hands. And oh, we could go inside the building. And now we could go outside the building. Wow, I don't care. This adds nothing. It's Minecraft from a different fucking viewpoint. Why am I want this? Like, why do I want a table? And by the way, he had a table to do this. A table in your fucking house where you can wear glasses, these hologram glasses, and a table in your house to create a hologram of fucking Minecraft. What the fuck are they thinking? Are you a fucking idiot? Yes, yes. If you're working on that project, you're stupid. Because we don't want any more gimmicks. We don't want any more peripherals. Every year I do E3, I say the same fucking thing. And every year, without fucking fail, it comes back to bite everyone in the ass. There's a new peripheral, there's new bullshit. They just got rid of the Kinect. And now they're going to try to shove holograms down your throat. Fuck you! We don't want it, you fucking idiots. God damn, they're fucking stupid. My god, they're stupid. Alright. So after that horrendous abortion of a presentation, then they finally went on to announce that there will be God of War Ultimate Edition coming out, which I guess will be like God of War Remastered. I don't understand if it's 1 through 3 or just God of War 1. I was so fucking flustered by the VR bullshit that I wasn't even fucking paying attention anymore. Seriously. And then finally, to close the presentation, they had Gears of War 4, which everyone kind of knew was coming. We just didn't know it would be at this E3. They announced immediately it will be coming out holiday of 2016, and then they show some gameplay. And the gameplay was, you know what it was? It was very reminiscent to me. If you remember in Gears of War 3, there was this segment of the game. Was it Gears of War 3? No, it was Gears of War 2. Hold on a second. If you remember, in Gears of War 2, there was a segment of the campaign of the game where you were inside almost like an insane asylum, and it was abandoned, and you were in there with your squad, and there was creepy supernatural shit going on. It was almost like a ghost feel. That's almost kind of what this felt like, although there were some other elements in it. But basically, it was like, 5-7 minutes of gameplay, and it wasn't typical Gears of War gameplay. It was more like the cinematic trailer, you know what I mean? Everything was staged. And it's like, I wish they would have just shown some combat of the real game, but they didn't. They just had to show this instead. And it's like, am I interested in a new Gears of War? Yes. I'm absolutely interested. Everyone's saying God of War. I'm talking about Gears of War. What are you talking about? I guess I said God of War, and I meant to say Gears of War, but I said God of War. Excuse me, I'm saying Gears now. So, keep in mind, the stream chat's like 2 minutes behind what I'm saying. So, apparently, I said God of War by accident, and people are saying, no, it was Gears of War. Yeah, it was Gears of War, sorry. But anyway, yeah, Gears of War 4. And, I'll be honest, the graphics look good. I want more. That was not enough for me to say, wow, I'm blown away, because it was nothing. It was a teaser. It wasn't sufficient to say, wow, this game looks good or bad. It was just kind of fluff when they could have given you real gameplay of the game with actual combat and stuff. Instead, they decided to give us fluff for E3 this year. So I will look forward to be hearing more and more about Gears of War 4 as we get closer to it, but it's holiday 2016, so we're talking over a year till the game comes out. And then to close, as if, after all this silly stuff, so I just got to go through this again. Halo 5, that really didn't look too great. I would say a few good things. Record looked good. Backwards compatibility looked good. A joke of a new controller of $150 that no one should fucking buy. EA Access that no one cares about, right? A bunch of little snippets and teasers and trailers like Dark Souls 3 and Tacoma and Ashen and Beyond Eyes. Not enough to really judge what the games are. You know, a few good things here or there, like Cuphead looked pretty good. You know, a few things here and there. The Rare Collection is a good announcement. But it's kind of, for me, you get to the end of this E3 press conference, and you're like, I say Microsoft had a mixed bag this year. Some things good, some things not so good, and some things, it's too hard to tell because they didn't give us enough information. The guy comes out and says, well, I'd like to thank you for paying attention to the best line of Microsoft games we've ever presented ever. And I'm like, do they really have to say that shit at the end of the press? It's the best year ever. It's so cliche every year. This year's the best year ever. Oh, but 2 years ago, when we tried to shove Kinect and PS Move down your throats, that was the best year ever. But then, remember when we were saying that this was the future of gaming and then we abandoned it? That was the best year ever. Don't say that shit. It's so cliche. It's so bullshit. We know you're going to say it's bullshit. We know you might think it's the best year ever. It's not the best year ever. I could probably tell you 3 other years Microsoft had better press conferences. This was not the best year ever. So stop saying that fucking bullshit. Okay? And that was pretty much it for the Microsoft press conference. That was the one to start off the day. As I said, if you want further elaboration on some of the games, like I said, Garden Warfare 2, what was the other one? The Division. In the own separate press conferences, I already talked about those, so check those videos out if you want more elaboration on that. And that is it for the Microsoft recap and reactions, stream here and video. I hope that you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. There'll be more E3 coverage coming soon, so don't go anywhere. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.